Okay, a lot of people are working on the Inspiration deck swap this week, this month. I'm going to be putting up another link to it below this vlog, but I wanted to share two tutorials today. One is a full tutorial by Amy Cavaness, who is a fabric artist and an amazing fabric artist at that, and she does just these amazing memory quilts, and I'm going to tell you more about her in the blog post. So there's a full link to her tutorial if you are interested in doing something a little out of the box, out of our paper mixed media box. And then I'm going to just show you kind of where I'm at. So it's not a full length tutorial from me, but I wanted to show you where I'm at. Okay, so I had this deck of cards, and basically what I did was took my deck of cards, and I also took a piece of regular patterned scrapbook paper, and I went with kind of a fall theme. Even though we're going to use these all year long, I just have had this paper for so long I wanted to get rid of it, so I've been using that. And I glued them down using regular Elmer's glue, I believe, onto a piece of scrapbook paper. And yes, they do buckle a little bit, but in all honesty, as you can see with some of the finished ones, you know, I'm going to flatten them out probably between heavy books, and you can bend them a little, but it's really not that big of a deal. You know, I'm not quite as perfectionist as I used to be about things like this. This used to really bug me, but now, I mean, I appreciate that, you know, I even had the time and the creativity to make it with everything else going on in life, and it's really, like, look, I just pretty much flattened it up. So I make a big mess just to get the cards down somewhere where they're not sliding all over the place, because last time when I did this, I was gessoing them one at a time, and it was so time consuming and monotonous and tedious, and I want to avoid that from now on. So the next step, I leave them on the paper. The next step is to decorate them, and I like to collage, and so I challenged myself to collage on onto this lovely card deck. So I'm going to get some papers out, and I was just going through and finding, like, what is this, music sheet paper, old text meaning, you know, on paper, the old stuff that we used to know about. This I got is fun, like an old grocery store. I love this dark brown color, and so I'll tear off a few of those. I kind of like the ones that had the red on it. Where are the ones with the red? Guess they're all gone. So I get a bunch of paper like that, and I like to get some with color, just a little bit, and then leave the rest of the color making for the music sheet. Leave the color making to the inks and the paints afterwards. So that's where I'm at, and I'm using pretty thin paper. I think I'll use some of this Japanese paper also. And here's my process, and you can do whatever you want, whatever is easiest for you, but this is what I do. Helpful if I had a big old brush, but they're all downstairs. So let me get a semi-gloss regular gel medium, and I just get a big glob like that and go to town. Then I'm going to tear the paper. Oh, there's a red one. And I'm just going to start tearing the paper and applying it in on different cards. And there's really no rhyme or reason, just tearing and applying. And I'm obviously going off the cards a little bit, which is fine because I'm going to cut off the excess so I can be, like, messy with it. Okay, so the only thing I've done since is added some golded fluid in gold and some Americana in, something or other green. These colors that I really like. And sometimes people ask me while I'm painting, like, Jess, what do you do when you paint? How do you paint? And my answer is always that I make a mess. That's what I do. I make a mess. So I didn't like some of that bright Japanese paper, so I just decided to cover it up with green and make a little mess. And I just thought I would show you how to not get too in your head about it when you're making these cards or when you're doing any art, really. Ta-da! Okay, then I'm going to go over it with a tiny bit of gesso mixed with water. That is what I'm going to do. Let me clean up this brush. Tiny bit of gesso. That's plenty. Mix it with some more. That's probably way too much. Yeah. See, I don't like putting gesso over my collages because, I really like the paper underneath there, so what's the point? But I know everybody does it. So I'll do it. Just a little though. Mostly over kind of what I don't like. And gesso mix is really fun with these inks. So that's fun. See, when you put all this gesso over the top, you kind of lose all that fun paper. Who wants that? But I do want to kind of tone down the green. See, I'm just making a mess. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I wish it was, I probably should try to have a prettier format for you so that it was really inspiring, but I think it can be inspiring to see someone, like Donna Downey or something, whenever I've watched a couple of her videos, and, she's not getting too, and she's so funny, love her voice. She's not getting too in her head about what she's doing, so she doesn't prohibit the happy accidents. So here's what it looks like right now. And the whole point is you don't want to get too controlling about it because that takes the creativity out of it. And I know it's not always fun to let go and let loose with your artwork because you're afraid. You're afraid of messing it up or wasting paper or wasting paint, at least I am. Afraid just to do it in a way that's wrong or not what you envisioned in your head, and and none of that sounds like fun. So it's like, what's the deal here? Either I go crazy and let loose and potentially have to scrap what I'm working on because I hate it at the end, or I stay controlling, stay reserved, and I get something I'm satisfied with at the end. But I think you never are going to be satisfied. You're never truly satisfied with that result, are you? I mean, you always feel that push inside that you could go a little farther, that you could, that creative spirit wants to just be let loose, and it will always keep nudging you. So this is a doily, or actually not doily, lace that I went to, a Joann's Fabrics or a fabric store and got just a little bit of it. And what I really like about it is the more I use it, it gets hard, and so it's not as flimsy up here, so it's really nice to lay out. And I have walnut ink, which is pretty much my favorite thing ever. And I kind of, these tops, they never work, as well as you'd like them to. See? But that can be alright because then you get these little droplets. We'll just use what's left of here. And I like this Posh Rainbow ink, and it's yellow, but don't try to tell me this is yellow, people. This is orange. Look at that. That's orange. But it says it's yellow, so if you like love this color and you see it and you love it, it's called yellow, but it's not. Do a little bit of this business. Sometimes when I don't like what the ink does, like right there, I like to paint with it instead. I much prefer painting with the ink. Isn't that fun? Let me do the rest of it. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I'm going to make sure that's recorded. Ooh. Yep. Isn't this professional? Look what it looks like now. Ooh. Okay, so next I would like to, what do I want to do next? I actually think I want to cut them out next. Which means my hands are going to get even dirtier. Which is why, and I'm going to post an own unique blog post probably early next week about the magic ring that I'm wearing. La, la, la. This is my magic ring. My new friend Bridget likes to call it the WTF Magic Creativity Ring. That girl's funny. But yeah, it's my magic ring, and I'm going to tell you all about it next week and try to, you know, peer pressure you into getting one. And no, I don't sell them. I mean at like Claire's. But you want a magic ring that you don't mind getting dirty, and I'm about to get dirty. So that's okay. That's why I wear white. I like to live on the edge. And I'm just going to do a couple of them. Who likes to see dirty baby wipes? No one. Jess, clean up your mess. Look, the edge of my card is showing. That's okay. People. Sometimes people tell me that they threw things away because such and such was wrong, or they scrapped their project because, you know, it wasn't good enough. There is no support. Alright, so then the next step that I did with these, I did some with orange color and some without. It's pretty, huh? I like them. As I have this bird, Doodle Bird. HamptonArt.com by Colette Hall. Thanks, Colette. Not Colette. It sounds so American. Like Colette Hall. It's Colette. And I actually just kind of want to chop the bird off with a razor. But, you know, who knows. Once I do that, I'll probably want the bird. So I only inked up his little lovely swirls. And I put them on the card. Where? Wherever I feel like it. Booyah! But I am kind of trying to think about maybe the middle staying open for the quote that I'm going to put on top. And I use StazOn. This is jet black, and I also have timber brown. They're the shit. Alright, and then the last thing I do is take the brown, only because I'm using kind of fall colors, and just do a run around the sides. Show you what I'm doing here. Actually, sometimes I don't, like, distressing the ink, or using the ink to distress the side, sometimes it gives like a little bit of a, too much of a containment to the card. Sometimes I see a card and I'm like, I really just like the way that flows, and I don't really want to contain it with the ink on each side, which is kind of, I guess that sounds kind of weird, but maybe some of you know what I mean. Sometimes I like the open edge, sometimes I don't. So that's what I do. Ugh, see, I don't like that so much, but it's already been done, so I guess I gotta keep going. And somebody will love it. Now I will show you what's done. Look at that pretty card in my messy hands. So, pretty much that's the tutorial. All that's left with this is to print off the quotes, and I'm going to print them on regular printer paper in black ink, cut them out, use my gel medium, put it on the back of the quote, put it down the middle, I mean anywhere really, haphazardly onto the card. And the same will go for my blog address and email address on the other side. You can leave whatever you want. You can leave them blank, put your name, put your email, whatever you'd like. I'll do the same, printer, paper, and ink, and gel medium on the back. And that's it. All right.